My name is Paul, and this is PJT Ventures. Join me while I ramble on like an empty dump truck. We got an empty dump truck now. Okay, so we're back down in the field, and so I had kind of briefly talked about how this area here, historically, I believe was just a low area, but I don't think it was truly a wetland. And then about 30 years ago, they put in this road, and the road, of course, cut through this low area, and there's another low area on the other side. I think naturally it all drains out of here. But I mean, there's literally, this is the only spot where there's actual cattails. So that just kind of shows how dry it is. Like, there's even little trees that have grown over there. So for me, I think what has happened is you can see how much sedimentation or sediment has filled up in this culvert here. And let's see, can you see through there? Yeah, you can you can really see how bowed the culvert is. And then of course, like this is, I mean, this little animal trail here is probably, well, 6 inches higher, and then there's probably 6 to 8 inches that the culvert is filled in. So I'm going to take a couple of swipes right here and just take this material away. And I think it's late in the season to try drag something through and kind of clean that culvert out. But what I will do is get this so that at least kind of, you know, maybe 20 feet back, it provides it with at least the proper drainage to the culvert. There's a second culvert up here, and it's even more pronounced, or more blocked off. And so, yeah, I think I'll just maybe make some, like this guy here. There's like a, well, there's 2 feet of dirt right here. This one isn't as bad. You can see there's some dents from when they installed it, but you can see, wait, no, that's the reflection. That light you see is the reflection of standing water. So this one's just as bad. But anyways, we'll get this, we'll dig some trenches out into there and out into there. What I'd really love is, I'd love to dig a pond here, dig a nice big pond here, and take the topsoil from the pond and put it onto a couple of sandy spots. We'll go over there and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And so it would be the kind of a double feature for reclamation. Create a body of water, create a wetland, create some moisture retention and some soil reclamation on a sandy erosion spot. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen this fall. But anyways, we'll do a little bit here, and I'll show you a couple of the things. But yeah, we'll go get started now.
stuff is no joke. These are nasty, nasty thorn bushes. Every one of them. If I'm not careful, I might get a flat tire.
You don't fool around with these.
Oh yeah, but I forgot, they're really yummy after they've been frozen, the berries. They're super bitter in the fall, but once they get frozen, there's something happens with the sugars in them, and they're actually quite yummy. I see them in all the animals, coyote, and raccoon poop, and now my poop. Okay, so here's the hilltop that I was talking about as far as it being just straight sand. Now, really the only thing that this has ever grown is tracks. If you look at it, it is, you know, there's sprayer tracks there, and it is like a night and day, or a literal border from where the sand and the topsoil meet. And it's just this little hilltop right here. You can kind of see where there's a bit of red, those are weeds. So there's a bit of sand there, there's a bit of sand kind of right there, but nothing to the extent here. The weeds don't even grow in this. And I mean, so it wouldn't take much to, while you're stripping the dugout or the pond, to bring the topsoil up here, put a foot of topsoil on this little section here. I mean, it literally is just the most beautiful sand. I mean, it shows lots of rocks and pebbles on top, but that's just because they've just been washed by the rain and the snow, but it's beautiful sand. Anyways, yeah, so we'll next couple of years we'll make this a reclamation project. But yeah, this is kind of what I want to see happen up here, instead of just wasting fertilizer and seed coming through here every year, you know, and spraying. It just creates waste. So yeah, we'll get to it. Okay, so we got a little trench. I ran out of batteries with the camera, so we got a trench here, and I just made a little bit of just a couple passes here, a low spot, and then of course it ties into the other culvert. And I think what will happen now is, one, let's say we do get a big hard runoff next spring, maybe we get a bit of flow, and we can, maybe there'll be a bit of erosion that happens, and now we can start to maybe get this culvert cleaned. Maybe we thread some cable through there and make some giant pipe cleaning device, or, you know, pull tires or something. I'm sure there's somebody who's done something. So if you have some experience with pulling giant pipe cleaners, we could pig it. We're in Alberta. We know how to clean pipelines. Anyways, yeah, so I think a guy just blocks out, you know, a big area here, and then we strip the topsoil, and we take the topsoil up to that sandy location and reclaim that sandy part of the field and create a wetland at the same time, and, you know, get some proper drainage. Imagine getting to use the two scrapers. So we have both scrapers running, the pull type 1 and the turn a pull Model D, and then we have the TD15C push loading, and then we have the TD9 on the top landscaping. Oh boy. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah, man's got to have dreams. Anyways, thanks again for joining me, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. And now we can all dream about that upcoming job. Bye for now.